of this amazing band that's making huge waves right now in Canadian music, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Dustin.
Talking with you.
Yeah, and it's nice doing a one-on-one after doing so many bands.
Yeah.
Bands tend to have great personalities, so you don't have to say much, you just stand, let them talk, but this is more one-on-one. So tell me about your excitement for playing Canadian Music Week.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be sweet. We've tried to get on a couple times before, but this is the first time that Final Thought has been a part of CMW, so I mean, we're really excited. It's like the coolest thing that Toronto has for music next to like North by Northwest or something.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I don't know, we're really stoked to be here and be a part of the long list of bands that are playing this week. So
yeah.
I mean, it'll be fun, and I'm really stoked.
Good. Now, I want to talk a bit about What We Need, which is your latest release. Tell me about some of the producers that you worked with on the album.
So we went with 3 different producers on the record, which is kind of a, I don't know, kind of weird thing to do. Usually you tend to pick one producer and stick with them for the whole record, but we wanted to like get a couple different sounds going on, I guess, because every producer has their own like specific style and stuff like that. So yeah, so we went to Montreal to work with a producer named Luke Tellier. Did a couple songs with him, and then we went down to the States to New Jersey and worked with our friend Rob Friedman, and then we went to New York to work with John Clario, who's done like a bunch of like My Chemical Romance, like brand new, did like all their first records, so it was really cool to like work with him because he's done so many records that like I've listened to all through high school and stuff like that. So it was cool to like just see how everyone mastered their own craft and has their different ways of doing things, and just seeing that from 3 different perspectives was really cool.
Yeah, very cool. The one thing with you guys as a band, you've kind of been through all the, I don't know, like the levels of what bands go through. Like you realize, okay, this is our sound, this is where we want to go. As an artist, how annoying is the process of finding your sound? Because it's like anything, right? Like someone's writing a book and, you know, they're writing and they're not comfortable with the writing.
Yeah.
How did you guys come to the point where you're like, yes, this is the sound, this is where we want to be?
That's a good question, actually. I think sometimes it just takes time, you know, and I think just for some people it comes quicker than others, and I think, you know, with anything, you come to what, you know, you land on something faster sometimes than you would other things or whatever, and I don't know, I think that it was just, after writing a lot of songs, you just kind of are like, okay, this is the way I like to write songs, and this is the style that seems to come out and I feel most comfortable with, you know. I think it's just finding that comfort zone that makes you comfortable when you're writing a song, because it just comes out the most honest that way, you know, and I think that's what people want when they listen to music, is they want things to feel honest, because then they can relate to it, and yeah, I think it really just takes time sometimes, you know, you're not going to always get it right away, and sometimes you're going to have to work on it and define what it really means to be your sound or Final Thought or whatever, and I think on our most recent record, What We Need, we're really able to kind of find that, and it sounds a lot more cohesive than a lot of our previous releases, so that was something that we really wanted to make sure we did on this, was find what Final Thought sounded like and really define it to the best of our ability.
You also, I believe, Degrassi High has picked up your music.
Yeah.
That's always good.
That's the coolest thing. That was like a weird moment that you would never really like. It's just not really something you think about when you first like, because you know you start a band like, oh, I'm gonna be playing for all these people. It's gonna be so cool, but you don't really think about, you know, sitting in front of a television watching a show and then your song comes on. It was cool, and they used it like in like a party, and the way they used it was just really neat, and they did a really good job with it. So it was really cool. I remember having just a huge smile on my face when I watched it. So that was really neat for sure.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's a very cool moment for you guys, I'm sure. What's been your major influence musically for you guys lately, do you think? What do you think is sort of, I don't know, bringing ideas to your head as far as music and songwriting?
I like listening to as much music as I can get my hands on. But I think my biggest influence throughout my songwriting career, I guess, is definitely Blink-182. I've always liked those dudes and like looked up to them and whatever. But I guess more recently, 30 Seconds to Mars, I really like. Their new record is really cool, and like just anything. Like when I was writing songs for the most recent record, What We Need, I went through like my iTunes catalog and just picked like, I don't know, biggest records that like Coldplay, like Viva La Vida, like U2, Joshua Tree, and like just records that I thought were from front to back, like just
Some
awesome.
of my favorite records.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just wanted to listen to the best music that has been created. So I just think that pulling from anywhere and everywhere is really important. I was listening to the Lana Del Rey record on the way over here, so I mean it varies and goes back and forth. So
no, I think that's important. I think it's important for an artist to be open to different kinds of music, or else, you know, where are you gonna?
Yeah, I think you can learn from anything, right? So even if, you know, maybe you listen to something and you're like, oh, no, that's not my cup of tea or whatever, no, I don't really like that. I think as a musician, you're able to kind of appreciate it for what it is, even if you can't. Okay, maybe it's not what I like, but I can see why people like it, sort of thing. You know, and I think even that is important, especially when you're writing. It's important to, you know, be aware of what's going on around you and stuff like that.
So, what do you have next going on that fans should know about? What's the next big thing going on for you guys?
The CMW is obviously a fun thing that's going to be cool, and then we're working on putting out a music video to go along with one of the songs on the record. We haven't fully decided what it's going to be yet, but I think it might be a song called Love of My Life that we're doing a video for, and then we're working on putting out a movie to go along with the record. So we did a lot of filming and footage and stuff like that when we were recording in the studio, and had a bunch of like photographers come out and things like that. So we're working on putting together kind of, right now it's like 30 to 40 minutes long.
Oh, like documentary
style, kind of.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Movie or film that we're working on right now. So that's the next two big things that I can talk about at least.
That's okay. So, that's right. You got to keep some things on the down low sometimes. Well, thank you so much, Dustin, for your time.
Not a problem.
And you guys continue. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Enjoy the rest of your week. And that seems to be it. So bye.
Thank you.